5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, this is the Ramble, and I am Alex Bennett. I know I didn't say I was going to be here tonight, but here I am, ladies and gentlemen, in the flesh. And let me just make sure something's happening here and that everything's working good and that we're recording. Yeah, I had problems here starting the show off tonight. I'm sorry. Here I am, and I know I wasn't supposed to be on tonight because I was going to have surgery today, and here I am. So apparently I didn't have surgery, right? Either that or I really recovered well fast. I mean, they said I'd be better the next day, and here I am better right now. Jeez, it was amazing. What a really, oh man, I'm telling you, this thing is like freezing up on me. Okay, hold on a second. It's just, come on, free up the memory and all of that. It's having all kinds of problems tonight. I may not even sign on. I mean, I'm sorry I even tried tonight. This is amazing. But anyway, well, just wait a second while this thing clears itself up. Where do I start with this whole thing? Well, I was supposed to have surgery today, and it was supposed to be, they were going to put some seeds in me, okay? So I mean that was the main thing they were going to do, is put seeds in me. I'm trying to clear things up here just a little bit, folks. Excuse me while I fix a couple of things. Oh, geez, I should have never even gone on tonight because it wasn't planned to go on tonight. Okay, there we are. Now we're going to be okay. All right, we're fine. All right. Let me start from the beginning. I was supposed to have an operation today. What it was is I had all this radiation back a couple of weeks ago, and then that's supposed to be followed up with them implanting radioactive seeds in my prostate. Now, it's no big deal. It's a simple operation. It takes about 45 minutes by a very experienced doctor. But the difficult part is that I'm a person who worries, and I worry about something, and when you know that you're going to be put under, and while you're under, they're going to be doing something to you. And in this case, what they do is they take radioactive seeds about the size of, each one about the size of a grain of rice, and they insert them in your prostate, thereby giving it a lethal dose for like 2 months. This thing just keeps starting over and over and over again. I don't understand. Anyway, excuse me, folks, if I'm a little out of it, because I got up really early today. I have to explain this whole thing to you. Let me try and do this without really going crazy on it, okay? So they implant these seeds in you, and then the radiation keeps going for about 2 months until the radiation dies, and it supposedly is very effective at killing prostate cancer. Now, the radiation that I had, in addition to this, the two of them together make up a very lethal dose against the prostate cancer, all right? So I'd already had all the radiation that I went through, and that was pretty good. The only thing is, what it's left me with, I didn't realize, and it can do it 2 weeks later. My doctor told me this. I've started feeling lack of energy, fatigue. They said you'd have mild fatigue. I'd say this is fatigue. Okay, not of the worst kind, but it's fatigue nonetheless. And So I've been feeling a lot of fatigue lately, and part of that is why I'm so out of it tonight. Anyway, that's all that radiation did. But then, in combination with that radiation, the radioactive seeds provide a rather lethal combination and have about a 92% cure rate. Okay? That means it's gone, it'll never come back. Okay? But if it does come back, it might come back in 5 to 15 years. Okay, so there we go. There's the prostate cancer in a nutshell. So today I'm supposed to go in to have these seeds implanted. Now what that entails is you go into this operating room and they put you out, and then they, through the use of needles, would you kind of like, you could probably turn elsewhere right now if you're squeamish. They take the needles and they go into your perineum, which is that area between the penis and the ass. I think we used to call it the taint. Yeah, taint dick, taint ass. Okay. And they then go into the prostate through that, and then they insert these little kernels of rice, essentially, lethal rice. Iodine, what is it called? There's a name for the kind of radiation it is. And so you walk around with it radioactive for about 2 months, and you can't hold little babies on your lap or get within 6 feet of a pregnant woman. Really, it's true. And if I want to go on a plane somewhere, I have to get a card from my doctor saying I'm radioactive. Okay. So anyway, that's the backstory on this, okay? So today I'm supposed to go in to have that big procedure. Now, this is a little more of a procedure than with the radiation. The radiation is so benign that you're just lying there while this thing whirls around and makes a little bit of noise, hardly any noise at all. And then they zap you and you come back for 5 days in a row, or not 5 days in a row, every other day for 5 days. And you're good to go, okay, for that. So this was the next big thing, and this was the one, I guess, that worried me the most. Excuse me, I've got my nose is itching. I was supposed to go in for this thing today, all right? And you know me, I've taken this pretty good. I think I've done pretty good about this. But this part of it kind of made me a little queasy because it is a little more of surgery than I had before, okay? So anyway, getting back to our little story here. So I have it scheduled for today. I don't know what time. I don't find out till yesterday, and yesterday I'm told it's at 6:45 in the evening. Please get there by 4:45 so you can be processed. Okay? Before then, the night before, take a fleet enema. And the next morning, take another fleet enema. And I said, yeah, but really I can take it at like 2 o'clock, right? Because, why take it in the morning if I'm, going to be having this in the afternoon at 6:45 at night? So they said, yeah, right. Okay. So anyway, that's the prep for the whole thing. Now, it's not bad prep, but quite frankly, I had to do an enema every time I went in for anything regarding radiation. And when I was doing the radiation, the 5 treatments of radiation and the simulation, I had to do a fleet enema in the morning before I went in. Okay. So, I'm pretty used to doing the fleet enemas, but it's not something I really like doing. I don't know if you've ever seen fleet enemas. They're the size of a small ketchup bottle, and you just shove it up your butt and squirt water in there, and then in a couple of minutes, everything in the world comes out and stuff you ate like 5 years ago. So you have to go through that prep, all right? It's not really bad prep. I don't know if you ever had a colonoscopy. That prep was much worse. Okay. So anyway, where do I leave off here? Okay. So then girlfriend comes home and says, I'll go with you to the hospital, and then I will wait until you go into surgery, and then I'll go out and have something to eat, and then I'll come back and I'll pick you up. okay, because somebody has to pick you up. So I've done the prep, okay. Girlfriend is going to go with me, which is, of course, she could have a nice night just sitting at home, not having to go to wait for me while I get out of surgery. So thank you very much, Marjorie, for doing that. And she hasn't been well lately because her leg has been really bothering her. And I go in, we take a cab over there. The lift was a little more than usual because, I don't know, there was a surge price or something, but it was just comfortable enough. I just wanted to get there. So we go up and we go to the intake part. So I go in, they have me sign something, they have me fill out something. It's a form. This is a great form. It was a form about, have you been anywhere outside the United States in the last 6 weeks? Have you known anybody else? And do you live with someone who has been out of the country in the last 6 weeks? Have you? And then there are 3 other questions, and it says if you answered 1 and 2, or any of the others is yes, then go see one of our people because we have to talk to you. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. If you said no to 1, if you said yes to 1 or 2, or any of the other questions, shouldn't the note on the bottom of the page read, if you answered a yes to any of the above questions? But no, it says if you've been 1 or 2 and any of the other questions. You got to know that you're dealing with a fucked up hospital that makes that kind of simple mistake when they're trying to find out if you've been anywhere where there's the coronavirus, okay? But they were afraid to put coronavirus on this page, all right? So anyway, I fill that out. Then I get a call, from a call. Man, they don't call me. They have my phone number, but they can call me if they want to. But the guy comes out and goes, Bennett Schwarzman? I go, yeah. He says, come on in. I got to get you through this. And this is all the stuff you have to sign to say that you understand that you're responsible and the insurance company's responsible, but they'll help you get it. Just a whole bunch of little paperwork that you got to get done. He says, I'm rushing this because they want to get you up there as fast as possible. I'm going, well, that's cool. I didn't expect that. I expected I was going to sit around and wait and all of that. So then I go into this other room, and they immediately say, oh, Mr. Schwarzman, please come with us quickly. And they lead me into another room with Marjorie, and they say, well, you take off your clothes and put on and I take off my clothes, and I put them in a bag, okay, which they then tape up, and they're going to keep that so that, nothing gets stolen. And they say to me, they ask me all the normal questions. What time did you eat today? What time did you eat? Water, baby, so coffee, no, on and on and on. And then let me take your blood pressure. Let me check your weight. Okay, fine, good. All right. Now we got all these things going for us, right? This is pretty cool. This is working out. And it's moving along really fast. All right. So then the woman says, okay, we're all fine with this. Oh, here, will you sign this? Because we're going to take the bag away with all your stuff in it in a couple of minutes. We want to make sure that you're acknowledging that we have your bag. And so, okay, fine, I'll sign that. So far, so good. This thing's moving along really fast. I'm figuring, 6:45, maybe I'll get the operation by like 6 or something like that. I'll be out of the operating room by 6:45, and then I can take about an hour to recover in recovery, and then I get the hell out of there and I get back home, and I just rest for the evening. I wasn't going to do a show tonight or anything. We hadn't planned on it. And so I went, okay, fine. That's cool. And so now I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. And nothing is happening. And Marjorie says, let me go out and see if I can find somebody and find out what's happening. Because I'm figuring, hey, they're going to come get me. They're going to swoop me up there. They're going to put the juice in my arm. I'm going to be out like a light. Next thing I know, I'll be awake. I'll be in recovery. and there will be the charming, sweet face of the woman I love. Okay? She can't find anybody. There's nobody out at the... I'm figuring everybody in the hospital probably left. There was probably an Ebola scare or something. I don't know. Finally, somebody is there, and she goes, what's happening? And they go, well, wait a minute. Let's get somebody who can go find out. And they got the head nurse, okay? And she calls up to OR, operating rooms, and says, what's happening? And the woman up there says, oh, Mr. Schwarzman, his procedure has been canceled for the day. What? Now, I got to show you something. See this? I mean, this officially means I was admitted to the hospital, okay? You're an official member of the hospital thing, right? There, right there. You want to see it closer? Okay, there it is. There it is. Bennett Schwarzman. You see that, folks? I think you can see that. Anyway. What? It's not going to happen today? I said, call up again. That's got to be a mistake. And she calls another person up there and says, yeah, it's been canceled. The doctor is doing a procedure right now. He will be right down as soon as that is over to talk to Mr. Schwarzman. Okay. We'll see what happens here. So I get dressed. I'm figuring we're going to have to wait forever for the doctor, but eventually the doctor comes down. And he's a nice enough guy, you know. I mean, not Mr. Personality, but he's very efficient and tells you what's going on and so on. And he says, yeah, we can't do the operation today. We've had to cancel you plus 2 other people today. And I said, why? And he said, well, I hate to admit this, but we ran out of equipment. I said, what? He said, okay, let me explain it. He said, when we do the seed thing, there is a little bracket, kind of a thing that goes on your perineum. I guess it's a little fitting. It goes on your perineum, and then they stick the needles through the fitting. He said, they were all out of those. And I had to send you plus 2 other people home. And one of them came all the way from Pennsylvania to be here. And I went, oh my God, you know, I'm beginning to feel less bad about my own plight, okay? And I'm yelling and screaming about this. I mean, just what the hell's happening? He says, I can't apologize enough. He said, I know you had one other problem where you came to do something and nobody told you, and that was a problem. He said, but this I have no control over. He said, this is the hospital. He said, and tomorrow I am going to look into this and find out who the hell screwed up on this. Because, you know, he said, when I do this operation, I have to have this part, okay? And they all have to be original, and the needles all have to be the needles for this, so that they don't get infected and things like that. He said, if we don't have this little gasket or whatever it is that we put on your perineum, we can't do the procedure. And I went, wow. And he was really disturbed about it. He said, this is happening a lot lately. He said, this hospital is starting to have a lot of problems. And he said, you know, someone's responsible for this, and I'm going to get to the bottom of who it is, because those items should have been there. And they weren't. And there weren't any in the hospital. So he was as irate as I was over this whole thing. So I go, well, I guess we're not going to do it today. He says, no, maybe we can do it tomorrow. Maybe we can do it Friday. He figured we could do it Friday, probably, you know, because he was looking for an outside date so that they could get the stuff they needed. He said, but it's terrible. He said, and I humbly apologize, and nothing I could do about it, completely out of my control. And as I said, I had to cancel 2 other procedures today, like yours, because we didn't, you know, and he started about 4 o'clock probably. with some of this stuff. So I was there about 4:45. So he couldn't have known, yet that he wasn't going to get this stuff and so on. It was terrible, and it's a clusterfuck. And I'll tell you, the name of the hospital is Mount Sinai here in New York. Now, I have always respected Mount Sinai, I guess because I'm a Jew, okay? And so therefore I looked at it as kind of a very special hospital. Well, I'm beginning to think they aren't such a special hospital. Not only because of this, but because I've just seen a hospital that's gotten grimier and a little too used up. And Marjorie says she has several doctors there who've all been complaining about the operation of the hospital as well, saying that it's not as well run as it should be. And I find this to be egregious because, okay, I have prostate cancer and you can take that for what you want to. Most people just go, I know, I have a friend who had that he's okay now, right? Nobody really gets panicky over prostate cancer. But nevertheless, if allowed to go or keep going, I could be in a lot of trouble. And the radiation I had would not take care of it alone. Okay? So that's what that's all about. You have a hospital in which everybody who is there because it's a matter of life or death, even if it's something like a cold. Okay? It could turn into something worse. And so you don't want to have a hospital which is so incompetent that they can't supply the main things that a doctor needs in order to operate. Now, mind you, this doctor is one of the finest radio-oncologists in the business. He's the guy who worked on Rudy Giuliani, okay? Enough said. That was 20 years ago. I asked him, how many of these procedures have you done? Well, he volunteered it because I was saying, so is this operation dangerous and all? He says, nah. He said, I've done 4,000 of these things. 4,000. He said, and I think we only had in that whole time one infection. It's not bad. He said, that's the worst that's ever happened. And that was taken care of, very easily. He said, otherwise, I have no problems. He says, the only thing that gives me problems is something like this, and I've never had this happen before. But this hospital just keeps getting worse and worse, and I don't know what we're going to do about it. And I'm thinking, this is the same Mount Sinai that sends me letters, emails, constantly begging me for money. Oh, we need help, because it's going to make a better hospital and so on. I mean, the next time they send those out, I'm going to tell them to go screw themselves and I'm going to tell them why. This is, for life and death situations, this is not good. And I'm really beginning to think after this event, because I take it now personally, of course, because it was a personal problem to me, that I really need to be, they really need to be taken to task. They need to get their crap together, because if they don't get it together, people are going to die. Who knows how many people have died already because of their incompetence? I mean, this is incompetence at the highest order. And now look at what happens to me. I'm all jazzed up for this thing. I'm all prepared for it, okay? I know it's not going to be pleasant. I'm preparing myself for every inch of the way. When they put the propofol in my hand, it literally felt like it was on fire. I mean, it was an anguish, painful anguish. I was afraid of going through that again. I was afraid of the waking up and maybe finding out I had a catheter in my penis. I asked my doctor about that. He said, no, we only have a catheter in you while you're in the operating room. We take it out before you leave. I said, okay, good. Whether I'd be able to even pee before I left. They don't let you leave the hospital till you pee. And last time, I was having a little bit of trouble. So anyway, I've been thinking about all these things, and I'm worried about all these things. I just want to get this thing over with. Plus, the whole procedure you go through to get in there to do the operation takes forever. I mean, you see the guy, and then you go in, and the nurse asks you all these questions, and they weigh you, and they get your blood pressure, and then you got to be taken up there, and then you wait, and there's a lot of waiting, and I don't want to go through that again, but I'm going to have to if I want to get this operation. I don't know what to say. I mean, I feel at first I was blaming the doctor because I went, here we go again, another one of these things, because the last time it was his office's fault. And I went, oh, God, I don't know. I don't know about this guy. And then when he told me the story, I felt absolutely sorry for him because he's ready, he's jazzed, he's going to go do this. He's done 4,000 of them. He's probably bored as hell of doing them. He could probably do them with his eyes closed, okay? But, he wants to get them done too, and he wants to go in and do the best possible job he can because he's a very competent physician and surgeon. And that's it. I mean, to talk about cluster you-know-whats, if I say that word, we won't be able to be monetized tonight. Although I doubt if we'll be able to be monetized anyway, because we said words like penis and perineum. So anyway, I just think that if this hospital, which is to me one of the premier hospitals in America, has come to this where they're this incompetent, that they're not supplying their doctors with the very tools they need to do operations, and they're having to send 3 people home in a single day because that doctor wasn't given the supplies he needed to do his craft. I think that's pretty pathetic. After this is over, I'm going to write a letter to Mount Sinai, and I'm going to complain about this and say, this was an egregious fault. Because what bothered me most of all was that it bothered me from the standpoint that I was, this thing doesn't go on the low. There we go. There goes the small one, and I go up to the faster one. There we go. Okay, I'm turning on the fan. It's a little toasty in here. And I'm just going to tell them, this is egregious. You can't do this to people. This is not right. Okay. It's completely wrong. Well, what I'm going to do a show tonight. I figured I better do a show tonight because somewhere this week I'm not going to be able to do a show, but I don't know when. I'll find out probably tomorrow. And so I may as well try and do a show tonight. If I start getting too tired, I will close it off early. Okay, is that a deal? Who knows if anybody's going to call? I put it up that we were doing a show. I sent a thing out to a lot of our people who participate in this program. What? I don't want that. No, that's not what I want. I want, no, I don't want that. I want this. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. See, I pushed the wrong stuff. I'm not. I do have this mild fatigue. Or it isn't really mild. It's pretty goofy, actually, to be honest with you. Well, come on. Bring Skype. Will you please start? Nothing working for me tonight. Come on, Skype. Come on. We're waiting for Skype to start. And there we should be going up now. Yes, we're up, and we're running. Boy, it takes Skype forever to start. This is really strange. I don't understand it. Okay, turn myself on as being active, and you can start calling if you want to. Let me see here. And if nobody calls, I can go to sleep early. But I was almost not going to do a show tonight. And then I decided to, because then I could do a show tomorrow night and tell you the whole story. But then I would have felt I would have been kind of letting you down. I'd rather come on the air and tell this story. But, who knows, okay? All right? So I'm waiting for somebody to call, and I guess nobody's going to call. Is that it? Is that the whole show for tonight? I know I told you that I wasn't going to be here tonight, so, you know. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I'll give it another couple of minutes here. Probably I figured the operation's going to be Friday now. So probably we won't be on Friday night. But we're here tonight, and I decided to come here tonight to appear before you just because I would, one day this week I would have to get off. And, okay, well, I'm going to give it another half a minute here. I'll have to restart computer. Skype is dead, says Phil Meyer. No. Well, then, of course, you're sending it to me through your iPhone. Well, Phil's trying to call. That's nice of him, but he's waiting for his computer to start. Oh, here we go. Here's Bree. Bree is calling us from Malaysia. Let me see here. Let me go here. Yeah, there you go. There he is. Hello, Bree. How are you? Bree, can you hear me?
Doing good. How are you, Alex?
Oh, okay. You're gonna blur the
Yeah.
You're gonna blur the
Can you hear me?
background, huh? Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
blur the background. I prefer that. And I never know when somebody's going to rush in.
Yeah.
I do have a couple people who want to see me, but they haven't done what they're supposed to
What happened to him?
do.
Oh, yeah.
Just get done what you got to do.
Yeah.
That's my motto.
Yeah. Because you're efficient. Damn it.
Well, I'd like to think so, but probably not as efficient as I need to be. But I had a neighbor's dog was barking all night, 1, 2, and 4, so I'm a little groggy this morning.
Yeah.
And but I did write to them. And
Gee,
I was like, "Thanks a lot."
you keep freezing up.
You probably don't have many neighbor issues there, do you, Alex? I mean, do you hear the people up above you?
No,
or
I don't have anybody up above me. But
sometimes.
you're breaking up every now and then. You're freezing. I don't know why.
Okay. Let me. That's strange. Well, the Wi-Fi is not the greatest here, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
But,
we're fine. Yeah. So anyway, no, I don't have trouble with neighbors. They're very quiet here. The only thing, I have some neighbors over on this side, and they have a kid, and every now and then I hear them yelling, screaming a little bit. But outside of that, it's not a problem. That's the guy with the Stradivariuses anyway. So I'll give him some permission to have his kid make noise or to make noise themselves. As a matter of fact, so
You are very lucky. You're very lucky.
yeah.
When you move internationally, and we found a place we really loved, and I don't know, just in the last two new neighbors have moved in, and just a little difficult. So
What is it? Party time all the time or something?
no, it's well, the one next to us has a special needs child. We believe he's autistic.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just screams randomly all the time. And at first, the first few days, I was very concerned. I was like, "Are they beating their kid over there?" I had to actually call the security people, but
Yeah.
turns out it's just autistic, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just
No, and you'd be kind of an asshole if you made a bad thing about
Yeah.
an autistic child. So, you
Yeah.
don't. But anyway.
yeah. So it's but we're looking around. And it's the last thing I want to do is move again. But we're looking, and we'll see if there's something that comes up.
Yeah. You like Malaysia?
Yeah, I do like Malaysia. We currently don't have a leader. Well, they have a leader, but they don't have an official leader.
Yeah.
Long story. Did you hear that?
No.
Yeah, the prime minister resigned over the weekend.
Why?
That is a long story, but he used to be the prime minister, I think in the 1980s. I don't know Malaysian politics 100%, but he came back as part of a coalition government because the government immediately preceding him was they say highly corrupt, and that court case is going on now.
Yeah. See, he's got people who he has to deal with every now and then. And since we don't have anybody else calling tonight, you know.
Sorry about that, Alex.
That's okay. That's okay.
The person has got.
If I had other people here, I could talk to them while you were doing that. But being that you're the only guy here, you know.
Yeah, this is one of our. Well, the person has done what they're supposed to do, so we'll see. I have to read this, but it's not signed.
Yeah, and you're breaking up, and he's breaking up.
I didn't do anything. Yeah, so he came in. You didn't know about. You didn't hear about the corruption?
No.
There was a lot. There was a lot of corruption. In fact, it was tied to the. I think there was some U.S. involved. I think, somebody that maybe I don't want to say anything because I can't remember exactly. But yeah. Anyway, so resigned.
Yeah.
He had to go to the king in order to resign, and the king said, "Okay, I'll accept your resignation, but you have to be the PM in the interim." So he's now interim prime minister.
Oh, okay. That's strange.
But, yeah, I mean, I like Malaysia. The food is very inexpensive.
Yeah.
The rent is reasonable. You could travel around relatively easily, although now with the COVID-19, it's a little more difficult. I'm supposed to go down to Singapore this weekend.
What is it called?
But I'm not sure.
Yeah. What did Phil write here? I rebooted. Skype is not working. I keep trying. Okay. Well, this might be you and I for the next 10 minutes before I sign this whole thing off. I probably shouldn't have gone on tonight. Jeez.
What's going on? I mean, the Democratic debate just finished up. Other than that, I mean, it's a lazy, February, Wednesday. It's Tuesday for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tuesday night. I think a lot of people also, I think you sort of said you may not have been on, and then, obviously you explained that in the beginning there, but maybe some people just sort of wrote it off in their mind.
Yeah, well, I got a hold of a lot of our people and told them I was going to be here tonight. So, what else did I do? I also put it up on my Facebook page, as soon as I knew. But I figured I'd come on tonight, show must go on kind of philosophy. And, I don't know why I didn't just take the night off like I said. It's ridiculous. But that would have meant that I would be taking off at least one other day this week to go get the operation. And quite frankly, I think that after I get it, I may just take a week off and just say to hell with it, because there doesn't seem to be the interest, that we should be getting. I mean, it's just you and I. Just you and I.
Yep. Just you and I.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I can't explain it, but sometimes these things happen. And, I think the Democratic debate probably took a lot out of people. I watched a good portion of it. I thought it was the worst one that was ever conducted.
You know what? They get worse and worse. And the one I saw tonight was, as you say, the worst one. It was the worst one on this level. They've all gotten to be petty.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I cannot stand Elizabeth Warren.
I think everybody can see it.
She's getting worse and worse. Okay.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders tonight was just downright annoying. He keeps harping away at the same message over and over and over again. You know what he is? He's like an old man who keeps telling the same story over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Medicare for all. We're going to have Medicare for all. With the people with the money and the millionaires, the billionaires, we're going to take them to the woodshed, and on and on and on.
And what's Tom Steyer doing there?
Was well, he just I guess he
I
figures
still
that
love what this guy is
he
talking
deserves that.
about.
Let's
Yeah.
get Kevin in here. He just
Hey,
called.
Kevin.
Let me see here. Hog Rider. There he is. There he goes. Boom, boom.
And
Wait a
and
minute.
I don't know about you, but Joe Biden, oh
Wait a
my
minute.
gosh, he's just so shrill. He's becoming like Elizabeth Warren. He just yells into the microphone, and he's got something. I think he's got, dental replacements or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Rush Limbaugh as well. I've noticed when people there's someone else who has it too. I think Kelly Clarkson. I mean, you notice when people get it, they have trouble speaking, like because it's not their natural teeth. It's like artificial. So Joe Biden's almost. Let me tell you, the deal is this. Look here, listen.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, okay,
Yeah.
Joe.
He does he has phony looking choppers too.
Yeah, they're like Clorox white.
Yeah.
I mean, they're whiter than his hair.
Hello there, Kevin. How are you?
Hey Alex, how you feeling?
How am I feeling? How should I feel?
I don't know. Didn't you have your cut today?
Didn't you hear? I
No, I
get
did not
there.
hear.
I get there.
I've
They
been out
put
of
me. They
touch
put me
today.
in the gown. Everything. I even got the look. That.
Oh,
Okay.
they didn't pull a wanky on you and kick you out again, did they?
Yep.
Oh, Jesus.
And that
Yeah,
was.
he explained that in the beginning.
Let me explain it again, just for people who weren't around at the time. I'm just going to do the short part, and that was the doctor had to cancel 3 operations today because the hospital didn't have the part he needs to do the seed implant. Now, what kind of a hospital? He says he was just livid. He said, I had to send a guy back who came all the way from Pennsylvania
Oh,
to get the procedure today.
You see, this is
oh.
socialism.
No, this is
Yeah, don't worry
capitalism.
then.
This is capitalism. I mean,
Yeah, but this is the future you're looking at.
and as I said, we're talking here life and death situations for people, right? In my case, it's not life or death, but let this keep going without doing the seeds, and it'll be death. Okay?
Yeah, what if a guy ordered a heart and it didn't show up?
Or they didn't order it.
Yeah, it wasn't in the parts house.
Well, how do you not have a part that's needed? Or if you don't have that part, you call the doctor immediately, say they're not going to be in today. You better get a hold of your people and tell them not to come ahead.
Yeah, I would think.
But it wasn't that I just went there and they said go home. I went there. They gave me the wristband. They had me sign all the papers. They made me get into the paper gown. They weighed me. They gave the blood pressure, asked about all my medicine. When did I eat last? They did the whole intake. And then they say,
You got everything but the good drugs.
but then they called upstairs and they said, oh, we can't take him today.
Yeah. So they didn't even get you high.
No. Yeah. At least do something, But I mean, it really pissed me off. And the doctor came down. He was terribly apologetic. He says, I'm going to get to the bottom of this tomorrow because this is getting. He said this is happening a lot in this hospital lately. He said to not me but other people. He said,
Yeah.
and to have a hospital not have the very things I need to do a specific operation when they know I'm going to be doing it and nobody ordered it. I think they have to order the radioactive pellets is what they have to do.
Yeah, I'm sure because they don't want them sitting around either.
No, they don't want them
They bring
sitting-
them in, they use them and
Exactly.
get you out of there.
Exactly. But the thing that they didn't order weren't the pellets. They had plenty of those on hand, It was a thing they put on your perineum and then they stick the needles through it. It's kind of a guide, all right? So that the seeds are delivered accurately. It's a small piece. It's just a small little thing, It's not, they ran out of them. So, it wasn't like they ran out of the seeds or things like that.
Don't matter, you needed it.
Yeah, I needed
No
it.
matter what size it is.
And I'm gonna, okay. So I go back, I do it again. Big deal, right? Well, no big deal. I go back and I've got to go through this whole procedure, this whole intake procedure again. and I'm sick and tired of it. You know, I don't
and
need
and the
that.
prep too. You had to do all
Oh, I
that
had to
stuff
do. Well, I had to do. It
beforehand.
was 2 enemas. That's all. But you know, 2 enemas is
Yeah,
2 enemas too many. You know.
yeah.
Uh,
You at least you feel like Mr. Clean anyway.
well, I don't know that I feel that, Mister Clean, but I cleaned myself out for him. You know. And I did all that I was supposed to do. Now I got to do it again. And I only have one enema left in the house. I have to go out and buy more enemas. When he came down, and he explained the situation, I said, "You know, this is driving me broke buying enemas." And he got a good
And he
laugh.
didn't give you any.
It,
He should have given you some freebies.
yeah, he had a good laugh out of that. You know, but I mean, geez, Almighty, you know. So tomorrow I should find
Crazy.
out when, you know, when they're going to do it. So.
That's crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
but you've got the time, Alex.
But no, you know something? I don't have. This made me feel pretty lousy all the way around, you know, because you know, I was anticipatory of it. I was a little fearful of it, you know, but you overcome those fears and you get yourself. You say, okay, go and suck it in. Go and get this thing done because after this is done, you're going to be on your way to being well. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're ready for it, and you go, okay, I'm ready for them putting me out and me waking up with time edited out of my life, and then my perineum hurting and things like that. Okay, but I girded myself for it, and you know it. You've gone in for operations. Suppose just before they did the operation on you, they said, "Oh, sorry, we're not going to do it today." You know how much anguish you go through getting yourself ready for that kind of thing emotionally.
Yeah, I was doing that for the last since December when I had to do that escopy, whatever it was they did last week.
Endoscopy,
Yeah, that
endoscopy. Yeah.
yeah, and he canceled it twice because he broke his shoulder.
Oh, really?
And you know, he called one time and said, "Oh, I can't do it. Maybe next week." And then he called again, said, "No, I'm gonna have to put it back 2 more weeks." And then it was 2 more weeks, and they finally did it last week. You know, I didn't know what to expect for that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was not fun, but
Yeah. So I mean, you know, it's just it's this kind of inefficiency, and I'm thinking this is a hospital. You know, this is a life or death place.
yeah,
You know, you don't
you
make
gotta have your
mistakes.
parts in the parts
Well,
house there.
suppose somebody comes in and they have something horrible that's happened, you know, car crash, and they need an immediate brain operation, and somehow they don't have the equipment on hand to do the brain operation.
Yeah,
You know, because somebody forgot to order it.
yeah. You can't just run down to the Rite Aid and grab it.
Exactly. Like I can fleet enemas. I'm stocking up on like the 100 pack at Costco because you
Costco.
know, every time I turn around, somebody's asking me to use a fleet enema. So I figure at my age, it's just good to have around. You never know,
Buy stock.
huh? Buy
Buy
stock.
stock.
By the way, how about where the stock
Not
market's
right
gone?
now. Stock market is going down.
It
I was
went
gonna
down
sell
almost,
some.
Crash again today.
almost
I wish I had sold
2,000,
last week.
almost 2,000 points in 2 days.
Oh wow, yeah, the
Yeah.
one that I got trashed itself. It was going up to around 80 a share. Now it's back down to 77. It was up around almost 90.
Yeah, well, in this case, this has gotten. You know what I did to pay off my lawyer? I cashed in $10,000 at Vanguard a couple of weeks ago.
Ooh,
Boy,
lucky you.
am I glad I did that?
You're
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah,
You probably saved yourself $4,000 or $5,000, right?
it's
Just
I.
by
Who
selling
knows?
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I,
Good.
I did make some moves last week, thank goodness, but there were a couple I didn't get to that didn't get activated. Boy, I wish they had. Boy, I wish they had. Now I gotta wait.
Wow, wow. Well, anyway,
Where
so
is everybody?
I don't know. Fuck them.
They got onto that message you sent out and sent my phone haywire a few hours ago.
Well, how did send your phone haywire? Because everybody else replied.
Charlene or somebody hit the video chat or something a few hours ago, and they were talking back and forth, and my phone was dinging up back and forth, and Ray and Phil and Charlene and
Maybe I
and
should
think,
just kill.
even God, why am I going blank on his name? Oh, geez, what the hell? Pat, he was on there too, and all of a sudden they said, oh, we'll get back on in a couple hours, and nobody's shown up yet, huh? Tony got on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they got sucked into the debate. I didn't even see the
Yeah, and
debate
the
myself.
post-debate stuff is still going on all the networks and channels, you know.
I didn't see any of it.
I think to me, it's fairly obvious that if I'm saying today, it's got to be Bernie Sanders, and I think he will lose. But I don't see a different. But you never know. I mean, the South Carolina, I think Biden is gonna, come very close with Bernie, and
where the hell did Bernie come from? I mean, he's busted loose. Now he's coming. They're coming to California next week, and that's Super Tuesday next week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was out here last week in Richmond, stirring it up.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on, but he's stirring it up all over the place.
He's got passionate followers. He definitely. I mean, look,
the thing is, he's got the whole spectrum, young and old.
Well, but they're not coming out to vote. If you look at, his history, and if you look at the three contests that we already have, he didn't bring out. I'm just reading news reports. I have to look at the data, but he did not bring out the numbers that he claims he has to have. Like it's not a big deal. I just don't know. I think that what he
I
says
found
is
him.
right.
I found him tonight particularly annoying.
Yeah, they were all screaming. They were all petty. The moderators didn't do their job. It was terrible. But finally, here's what I come down to thinking: why Trump wins. Trump wins because our country, most people go to the Dollar General and the Family Dollar. Mm-hmm. Okay, they don't go to the Whole Foods and the organic co-op. If they did, Bernie'd win in a landslide. But most people go to the Dollar General and the Family Dollar. And when you go there, what you realize is that people buy stuff that's not in their best interest. It's not good for them, but it's cheap. And they're told, through advertising or whatever, that's what's good. Trump wins in a world, in a country where pro wrestling is loved, and where people shop at the Dollar General. That's just my take on it.
Well, then they should love the Democrats, because these debates have been more like wrestling than they have been like anything else. Yeah. Hello, Phil.
Hi.
It was another.
Your take on it, I think, is very stereotyped. I don't fit that mold. I shop at Whole Foods, and I'm going to vote for Trump. So and I know a lot of other people like me that do the same thing.
But I'm saying among the people that Bernie needs to get.
Oh, I thought you said the reason Trump was going to win because his voters shop at the dollar store and.
No, I said because people shop there. I'm saying
he has to get. In other words, what he was saying is he has to get to, those people. And he's not going to appeal to those people, and I think you're pretty right on that, Bree.
I think true. Bernie is not going to appeal to those people.
In a room full of Democrats, yes, he can poll like he polls, but that's not enough to win in the general election. He's not going to be able to get the people that he should get.
That's right. That he needs.
Did you? Huh?
Did you hear Biden yell, "Get off my lawn"?
No.
He yelled. I heard Warren quote Bloomberg. My brother, I didn't watch it. Warren said Bloomberg pretty much.
They said they were lying.
And she would lie through her teeth tonight. She would have hit her with a lawsuit tomorrow.
Well, it seems like Warren is so set on getting Bloomberg out of the race, or taking him down. It's like she's just going for that. Some people say she wants to be vice president. So she's hoping she can kneecap him, and
she should challenge him to a duel.
Well, I don't know why she was kneecapping Bloomberg when her real enemy in this whole thing is Bernie. The guy to go after is Bernie. And what's going to happen is these people are going to, I'll tell you what's going to happen. These people are going to eat each other alive, and Bloomberg is going to slip right in.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. And
But
who's
he's
gonna
gonna
be left to be vice president?
And tonight, I may be mistaken. It sounded like it to me. When she went after Bernie, the audience started booing. And not Bernie, but after Bloomberg. The audience started booing.
How much you want to
There was-
bet Bloomberg paid people to be in that audience?
He had to.
Take his money.
He had to.
He had to have. I am
You think so?
sure he stacked that audience. The guy's smart and he knows what to
That wouldn't
do.
be
And they
fair. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
Trump
Bernie-
does it.
Bernie
Trump does it all the
paused a couple
time.
times.
Trump does it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
They paused
Audience-
a couple times, and they were definitely confused because normally they have the audience, Bernie, because what he says is a lot of it makes sense. So, and he usually gets cheers. So he looked definitely confused. Like, what kind of a reaction is this? Like, what's going on? So I think Bloomberg, the fix was in there.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you the one guy that did come off kind of really good was Buttigieg. He kind of had a very nice, measured
Mature.
quality about him. Mature.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting into the mud fight,
He
He didn't yell at us.
Yeah, he was the adult in the room.
I'll tell you what Marjorie also said. He was the only young voice in the room.
Yeah.
Among a bunch of
But they don't
really
come out
old, tired voices.
Well, Klobuchar wasn't bad. Buttigieg wasn't bad. Bernie was the same old thing. He's like a broken record.
Yeah.
And okay.
Bernie's
so they call him
Bernie's a
out.
broken record. Bernie's a broken record.
Bernie's a broken record.
Come on, I understand that we need Medicare for all. Now, do a better explanation of it for, as Bree puts it, middle America, so they can understand why it's good for them, not bad for them. And there are a lot of reasons why it's good. Even if it means you're going to pay more taxes, you're not going to pay more in taxes than you're already paying in co-pays and for your portion of your insurance at work. It's not going to come to that much. Those are the kind of things you have to explain, not just say we're going to have Medicare for all. Well, what does that say?
Well,
what does that mean?
Those guys are saying
He
it's
goes down that whole list.
2 trillion, and Bernie says it's 60 billion, but these guys are just throwing numbers out of their ass. You would think that they were getting the seeds today, the way they were spewing.
The way I would put it, if I were in Bernie's position, I would go after the insurance companies. And he doesn't do that. He doesn't really go after the insurance companies when really they're the evil factor in all of this and the reason we should have single payer health care. Okay?
Probably in he's been representing him for all his adult life.
Who?
Bernie, since he's 22, he's been in government.
Yeah, but you say he's been representing who?
The big business. What do you think keeps getting him elected?
Who, Bernie?
Yeah. So he takes.
I'm sorry. You got the wrong guy. Guy.
It's okay. He says he takes $27 from this one and $27 from that one. But the bottom line is, in the old days when he was he voted for he didn't vote for gun control. He says, now he's saying that these were bad votes, that he made a mistake.
But on the other hand, Bloomberg can't apologize.
None of them are going to apologize.
No, but he apologized for that.
Bloomberg apologized.
No, but I'm saying that Bernie is apologizing now for his vote on guns,
Which he was giving him the guns, and all Bloomberg was doing was taking the guns away from him.
No. What was happening here is that he was representing Vermont, and in Vermont there are a lot of hunters up there, and so therefore you do defend gun ownership if you're going to get reelected in your home state. All right. So that's what he was up against. Now, if he is apologetic for that now, then great. But don't go ahead and say, I don't accept your apology, Mayor Bloomberg, for what you did with the stop and frisk. He
was just saying, all right, I stopped too many.
Yeah.
Crime went down.
But with Bernie, what's happening now is he's in this old man rut. You know what I'm talking about? where it's the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
Billionaires,
Yeah, 1%.
yeah.
Broken record.
Rather than say,
1%.
if
What else
if
is-
I had all that time, I wouldn't spend it going after Bloomberg or going after somebody else on the panel like he does. And he seems like he's very mad. He does not seem like a nice person up
They
there.
were all mad, except Buttigieg, but they were all mad. And especially Biden. He is an angry dude.
Yeah, he's got issues, I think, him.
And he
definitely.
couldn't get out. I don't know if you felt this way, but he couldn't get out a coherent sentence to save his life tonight. I mean, I'm looking at Marjorie and going, "What did he just say?"
Yeah.
I don't
Like
understand.
talking to my mother.
I don't understand what Bree, you agree with that?
Oh,
Well, Bree said
absolutely.
it before, but the dentures.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Did a
He's
bill.
not familiar with that mouth, with his
he
teeth,
did
with his
a
own
bill.
teeth.
Kind of talk.
He wasn't familiar with his own mouth.
Klobuchar said that
Monster cereal.
What?
Bernie says he authored a bill. Klobuchar says she authored the bill, and they were basically calling each other liars.
I
You
wrote
can
the damn
author a
bill.
bill. I mean, I could author 1,000 bills, but it's the one that actually goes to the floor and gets voted on that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I think Biden has, really needs to rethink
Who do
his
you think's
cap.
going to drop out then next?
Well, see, Biden thinks that he's 30% ahead or 15% ahead of everybody nationally.
actually,
So-
after next Tuesday, you will see who will drop out.
Yeah.
After what do you call it? Big Tuesday or whatever they call it. I'm
But I don't know, because they could take their delegates to a brokered convention.
I
Well-
don't think it's going to be a brokered convention.
well, I think all conventions should be
I think it's
brokered.
absolutely possible.
I think all conventions should be brokered, and I think this whole idea of primaries is a really bad idea.
I think your friend Biden has a good chance because I was listening to a guy today. He says, look, Bernie has 30% of the vote, and the other 70% of the Democratic vote is split between all the other candidates. So if the other candidates who aren't Bernie
You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, he's not going to look as good once 2 or 3 people get out of the race.
Exactly. You're going to see support for either Bloomberg or Biden or Buttigieg because the more moderates make up 70% of who's talking out there,
And
I
the
think
Republican.
That's what Biden's counting on.
and he's right. I think.
I don't want Biden.
Well, one of the things that Bernie does that other Democrats, he kind of is taking this approach like, let's go all the way. Let's just go all the way, and none of these, and there's obviously there's passion in that. There's a lot of people that enjoy that, and it's gonna, fire up his base in the nomination. But he's gonna have to shift for the national, and I don't think he can. I think he does the same thing he always does.
He can't and probably wouldn't even get any of his ideas into action. It's all pie in the sky, and I can't believe that people are falling for that stuff. He's just
Well, but
too
it sounds good.
well.
It sounds
good.
good.
Who
Who doesn't want everybody to be covered by healthcare? I mean, who
Yeah,
wants
that
people
sounds good.
to be thrown out, because you can't go into the emergency room? We all know stories of people who have had trouble or don't want to go. I read something about a guy in Florida who came back with a virus from China, and so he went to get it checked, and they charged him like $10,000 or something. And it turns out he just has the regular flu, and he can't afford it. What
He was
message does that send everyone?
Wasn't he out of network?
I don't know. That's the kind of
That
thing,
should
though.
not be a crime, Phil.
That's what I hate.
That should
kind of
not be a
network.
crime.
Put the cuffs on the guy. He was out of network.
It was out of network.
I never heard of that. Just take the insurance.
Well, I think the story that was told a couple of weeks ago on last week tonight with what's his name,
John Oliver.
John Oliver.
Yeah, I listened to
He
that.
talked about this one woman. He did a thing on Medicare for all and why people
I
are
listened.
afraid of it and so on. It was interesting, didn't you think, Phil?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
it
he
was
made some. He
interesting.
made some good
I-
points. You know.
yeah.
I have to like meditate for 10 minutes after watching a John Oliver piece.
I thought he was more in support of Trump when I got done listening to him.
But
than,
anyway, but the story he told about this woman who had something wrong with her, and she couldn't take the ambulance because they couldn't get one that was in network. So finally, somebody drove her to a hospital that was 20 miles away from the nearest hospital because it wasn't in network. Okay, so then she got to the hospital that was in network, was admitted, and then was treated by a doctor who wasn't in network, and she got a bill for $5,000. Okay,
See what I mean? This is a problem.
these are the
Yeah, see,
problems
this,
we've got.
This has got to stop.
Yeah.
didn't
And,
Trump
and,
put
and Alex, did you hear?
Wait a minute. Let Bree talk. Yes.
Bernie said the magic word for me, which gets me very excited. He said dental.
Oh, I could have used him for
He said
4 years.
he wants dental coverage.
I'll tell you. You know, I've argued that for years. That we have Medicare. We should have Denticare. I mean,
He gives me dental. I'll give him an enema myself, Alex, if I get dental.
dental coverage? For the most part, it isn't worth anything.
no.
Why?
What Phil? To begin with, I have pretty good dental coverage. Believe it or not, I get $2,500 a year.
I do too.
Yeah, and it's pretty damn good. I mean, it's certainly better than none at all. But the thing is, that
my cleanings are 175. I'd kill for that.
I got $100.
my argument, and also my doctor is in network, for instance, so I'm gonna have to pay $1,600 towards my my implant. But the fact is that they're only going to pay the doctor $3,200 because she's in network, so she has to take
She's
what
in,
they
yeah.
say it's worth. But anyway, the
I never
point
know
is,
why more candidates don't come forward and say I want all
well,
dental
here's
coverage.
why
Like,
there are a
every
couple of
vote on
reasons
the
why we should have dental care.
you
Number
get
one,
paid that way.
people with bad teeth are prone to more illnesses than just bad teeth because of it. Secondly, if a guy's missing 2 front teeth and he goes in for a job, do you think he's going to get it?
like
he
Tom
may-
Steyer.
I'll be cleaning out the bathrooms. is what
Yeah, I
I'll be
mean,
doing.
the fact
see
is
Tom
that
Steyer?
if you fix
Bottom
those first
Dentist.
two, the front teeth on that guy, he could maybe go out and get a job. Jeez,
People
you
all over
know?
the place.
Yeah.
be a very productive citizen. You know,
Yeah, what's up with Tom Steyer's teeth?
Get a job.
I don't know.
Gee.
Oh, turn down your audio. Yeah,
Be a very productive citizen.
wait a minute. Yeah, mute your audio there. Yeah.
Why is Phil anti-dentist for free? I don't get it. He wants to put his dentist on vacation every 6 months. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But Alex, the dentist would get paid if we had Medicare for all. They would get paid right away. No worrying about people
Not
collecting
Medicare
money.
for all. We're talking about dental care now, though, Tony.
Oh, I mean dental care for all. My dentist, they have people who they pay as they go because they don't have the money. Just imagine if you had some work done and it was $1,000.
I'm gonna tell you
okay,
something.
Give me a dental card.
Bernie
Boom.
said
I'm going
that.
to tell you
I don't
something
know.
about health care that wasn't brought up by John Oliver. And that is, you ever go into your doctor's office and see how many people are working there?
Not a lot.
How many people working there, and how many of those people working there are in the department that deals with insurance? There are maybe 5 women working on dental insurance, and the 2 others are nurses. You know?
It says that Bernie Sanders' new Medicare for All plan includes dental.
Phil, that's good if he can do it.
If he
Jeff,
can
I
do it.
think that's optical for all because he's got new glasses.
He's looking neater.
Yeah,
They're putting better suits on him and
I
everything.
want to get one.
But I mean, I just think that the Democrats are just they
They showed us what they were tonight.
well, it isn't a matter of what they are; it's what they aren't, actually.
Yeah, not qualified.
Well, I think. Look, I think certain people there are qualified. I think Bloomberg is qualified.
Yeah,
I think.
he did better tonight.
Huh? Yeah, he did better tonight, but I mean, let's face it, he's not Mr. Charisma.
Yeah, he's got no personality.
And
You're
the
right.
other problem
He's
is
cold as a-
and it's the biggest problem of all, and I think Jeff would agree with me. He's Jewish,
I noticed that.
and they don't like Jews that much out there in Middle America. As a matter of fact, let me bring up something. I have noticed something lately in this age of Trump, okay, that is appearing more and more on television, and that's dramas that have to do with anti-Semitism.
Really?
Yeah,
Like what?
and a lot of it. Well, there's a show called The Hunters or Hunters.
That was great. I watched an episode last night.
I watched the whole thing. It's not that great. The stuff about the concentration camps and stuff is really good. And there's certain sub stories that go on that are very good. But overall, it's another bad acting job by Al Pacino, and it's another. It's not terribly good. I wish that it were, but it isn't.
I saw 2 Better Call Sauls last night too.
There was only one.
No, there's 2 now.
There's 2.
And 2.
I haven't seen the second one.
It's 5.
Huh? Really?
The 5th. Yeah.
When did it come on? Tonight?
No, yesterday.
Yesterday? No, they only had one.
No, well, I saw 2.
Well, I only saw one. I only got one.
I signed up for Hulu. Didn't have AME, and Netflix only had series 1 through 4. So I signed up for YouTube TV.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. You were watching last season.
No, it's season 5.
What was the first? How did it start?
Let me see. I watched the second one before I watched the first one.
Well, wait a minute. There is a Better Call Saul too. Yes, there is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's working.
Yeah, there is. There definitely is.
There's a second episode on 5, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Take a drink.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't. I missed it. Marjorie's going to be very happy about it tomorrow night because she'll have another one to watch.
Yeah, it was very good.
But I think they may have come out on 2 different days. No.
Yeah, I think they did.
No, they're both on. They were both came out on the 2nd. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm downloading it, and wait a minute. I did download it, and it's not downloading. Here we go. Let me see here. There we go. All right. Okay. So she'll be very happy with that
about
tomorrow.
Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never got into
Hello,
any of
Ray.
those.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Ray,
Hey, is it on AMC or Hulu or what?
it's on AMC.
AMC.
Okay. I canceled AMC. Oh well. Okay.
Yeah, I got AMC when I had Sling. I canceled Sling and got Hulu, and so I couldn't get it. So I had a free trial with YouTube TV that had it, and I saw both episodes with YouTube TV.
So Saul is on YouTube TV?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just do that.
YouTube TV. You got to sign up.
Back, I'm going to lunch.
Yeah.
I'll check in if you're there.
I'll do that. I'll do it
Oh,
tomorrow.
you're going to lunch? Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm going to lunch.
we'll just keep your picture there. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay. All righty.
Okay.
So
Arnold Schwarzenegger said.
what?
That's what Arnold Schwarzenegger said. I'll be back.
I'll be back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, call up.
no. What I was saying is, you have this show, The Hunters. Okay, we got all mixed up here. Called The Hunters, which is about hunting Nazis in America, because there was this whole plot, and so that had a lot of anti-Semitism in it. Okay,
The whole thing.
And then there was one other show. I'm trying to remember. That's coming up. Yeah, this one about Lindbergh becoming president instead of Roosevelt, and the whole country becoming a Nazi state as a result of it.
High Castle one is also
No,
Man in the High Castle.
that has the premise: what if Hitler won the war?
Yeah.
right.
These things don't have that. These things have the idea of the one with Lindbergh winning. It's based on a Philip Roth book, is all about anti-Semitism. So we're seeing a lot of shows lately about anti-Semitism, and one of the lines is on the preview that I saw for this one about Lindbergh. She says, "Yeah, they want to make America great." You know.
Ooh, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's as direct as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Other than the guy wearing a fucking hat. Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's there is a lot of anti-Semitism going on now, so it's become now the plot du jour for a lot of programs. So, pretty interesting.
It's easy. Everybody loves to hate the Jews.
Hmm?
They've been hating Jews for 1,000 years.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Well, what's not to hate? Okay,
Yeah.
what's not to hate?
I have to say, most of your best comedians I always thought were Jewish. Right?
Yeah.
That's got beat up when they were in school, so they had to be.
they wgot
Got beat up because they were Jewish in school, and they became funny.
They were smart.
No,
They said,
what they
"I'm gonna
learned, most comedians were kids in school who got beaten up, and what they learned is if they could make somebody laugh, they'd have a hard time throwing a punch. Really, it's true.
Right.
I had more than one comic tell me that they used it as a defense against the schoolyard bully.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I had a friend that always knew the flip side of records, and so they would, like you have a 45, and you'd have the hit, and the back you'd have the flip side, and so they would not beat him up if he got the flip side right, and then he had a career in the music business.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Went to Erasmus Hall High School.
Anyway, so when we talk about Medicare for all, I certainly wish if we had Medicare for all that they would make sure that the hospital systems were good and didn't have problems. But I mean, what I went through today, no one should have to go through. This is just unspeakable.
You know what, though, Alex? People make mistakes, and as inconvenient as it was,
when my doctor says they're making these mistakes more and more often, there's a trend at this hospital, and also because Marjorie's doctors, who also work at Mount Sinai, have all complained to her about the same thing.
Because Medicare is paying less and less. They have
No.
fewer people.
No. Most of these people are getting money from insurance companies too, and they're paying less and less. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So don't blame Medicare. Medicare. In fact, I asked a doctor once, who would you rather get your money from, an insurance company or Medicare? And he said, I'd much rather get it from Medicare because with Medicare, 3 weeks later, it's in my pocket. He said, with the insurance companies, it takes me 6 months of haggling to get the money.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
see, Phil just lets that fall aside because he doesn't have an argument for that one.
Answering you, I find that it depends on the quality of insurance company you're dealing with.
Phil, you don't find anything because you're going to an HMO.
No, I'm talking about home repairs. I deal with insurance companies. Half of my business comes from insurance companies.
Yeah, but it's not the same as the medical insurance people. We're talking about medical insurance, which is
they're paying out money for
floors leaking. Come on,
and
that's
there
kind
are
of
certain
good analogy.
There are certain companies that give you the minimum and less than the minimum, and there's others that give you that and more.
Yeah.
And it depends on the company. It depends on the rates you pay. If you get the cheapest rates, you're going to get the cheapest service.
Well, all I'm saying is that we're not talking about that. We're talking about medical insurance. It's not the same as flooring, or home insurance.
If it's blown off in a storm, the insurance company has to pay.
Yes, but it's not. All I'm saying
is
is we're talking apples and oranges here. We're talking about medical payments, and this is something that's very important to most Americans. Okay, there's Bree. He's walking.
on his way for food.
Yeah, he must be on the camera. That he can't turn.
He's foraging for food in a foreign country.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll probably bypass the Subway sandwich shop right now.
Yeah.
If this was Venezuela, you'd be going from dumpster to dumpster.
You can't get panoramic on that, can you? Bree?
I'm gonna stop.
Well, yeah, I can.
Landscape.
I mean, I'm walking on, you know.
If you want to lose weight, just go to Venezuela.
No, you know what
it?
you know what it is when you don't have your front camera facing camera on. Okay, the front facing camera will go panoramic. The face front won't. So if you go to the front camera, you know the one on the
I can't
back.
see all of your beautiful faces.
Oh, okay. Well,
I had to buy a new phone for Faye today.
Mhm.
I got her an iPhone 10R. And left her iPhone 6S Plus for her car and drove off.
you what?
And she put her iPhone 6 Plus on the roof, then drove.
Oh, so you had,
And I had to buy her another phone.
yeah.
So anyway, I buy her an iPhone 10R, and we go to set it up tonight. Can't get it set up. We're going to have to call Verizon again.
Why
She went
can't
to
you get it set
Verizon's
up?
store, couldn't do it.
Why can't you get it set up?
It just says it won't connect. And Verizon store says that the Verizon business didn't activate it.
So you have to wait till tomorrow for them to activate it?
Yeah, if they can, we may have to send it back.
Boy, this is
And
worse than Mount Sinai.
Yeah, the Verizon store sold her one of those screen protector things that they put on.
Yeah.
And if I have to send the phone back, I paid for a screen protector thing, and I said, why'd you have them put that on before they activated?
Mm.
You know?
Yeah. But anyway, so getting back to tonight's debate, it was I think, if the Democrats keep going the way they are, they're just I mean, Trump is beatable, but by the right person and the right mindset and the right set of selling points to the American public. And it can be done, but they don't know how to do it. They don't have a clue.
Hillary's got practice. She'll volunteer.
Yeah, sure. We want her
She would
back
love-
again, like I want another prostate cancer. Kevin, would you agree with that assessment that the Democrats don't have a chance?
At this point,
I
they're
agree with that.
Cannibalizing themselves.
Yeah, they're eating each other up.
Well, and they won't have enough. They won't have enough time to, if they picked one today, they might have enough time to rally the troops. But the way that it works, they're not going to have enough time.
By the way, that isn't working sideways either.
Wow, cars travel on their side in Malaysia.
Yeah. Probably you should just give us your picture. Yeah, that's better than nothing at all. Anyway, so I just what I saw tonight, Marjorie, after about 10 minutes, said, please turn this off. This is agonizing.
Yeah.
And we're lefties and, we want Medicare for all and we want people to win this election. And these people there's not one in the bunch there's one in the bunch who can. And it was explained very interestingly the other day, and that's Bloomberg. And here's the reason why. We all know he's got amazing amounts of money. He can just drown Trump with his money, okay? That's for starters. Secondly, and this was the one they brought up, he has a company that's a very highly technically proficient company. They're one of the best technology companies in the business, and he's got the technology ability to win an election,
And he packed the audience.
Huh?
He packed the audience tonight.
Who?
I am sure.
You sure?
Where would he
paid
ever?
him?
Well, Trump hired actors.
That's an interesting
when he
point because
came
everybody
down
was
the- when he came
if
down
Bloom-
the escalator.
If
Trump, they had actors.
If Bloomberg didn't pay those people in the audience,
Did
he
you
wouldn't have gotten one cheer.
Did you just hear what Bree said?
Trump had people.
Trump paid people when he was coming down the escalator. All that was a paid audience. They had to pay them to come in off the street.
That's smart, and what Bloomberg did was smart. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, at least he had the foresight to do it.
Well, if he did do it, we don't know that he did. You're only
Sure he did.
no. You're sure that he did, but we can't take what you believe to the bank, Phil.
Oh yeah.
I think it's highly likely.
Not a sure.
Wait a minute, Bree. What were you saying?
I think it's highly likely that he did have people there. I
Yeah,
think it's highly
Interesting.
likely.
you're
we've been
upside
hearing
down in every
reports-
which way, Bree.
I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to keep it regular.
The only way you're
Um,
going to be able to do that is get another phone. But meanwhile, why don't you turn it on yourself? Because then it looks okay. You know. Yeah.
Faye has a phone on Highway
Yeah,
6.
we already know that Bloomberg. The reports are that Bloomberg has been paying social media influencers to start memes about him and to post. So, I mean, look, he's using everything at his disposal, and he's got so much money. So, he's out there, and they're saying, hey, you got to do this. He's like, how much? $1 million? Yeah, do it. How much? 2 million? No problem, do it.
Hey, by the way, we have time to sell here on the show. Yes, Mr. Zeller, Jeff has something to say. Hello, Jeff.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to listen to this tonight. I was out having dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
But how did Biden make out today, and some of the others?
I thought
Did
Biden was
anybody look
terrible. I
good?
thought Biden was terrible.
Yeah, he sounded like he yelled, "Get off my lawn!" He was one angry person.
Well, you know what it is? None of these people know how to be what they should be in order to win. In other words, you've got Elizabeth Warren there being exceedingly nasty, thinking that's the way to the White House. Okay, and then you've got Bernie Sanders doing the same exact thing. I mean, he's mad. He's pedantic. There's nothing lovable about Bernie. Okay.
Bloomberg isn't that way.
Well, Bloomberg actually allowed
Bloomberg
himself to.
mean and-
No, he wasn't, and he actually allowed himself to look like the guy who was getting beaten up, and everybody could take pity on him. I mean, those boos that Elizabeth Warren got may have been genuine. They may have not been from the audience you say he set up in there. But they were booing her when she went after Bloomberg, and what one would consider, I looked over at Marjorie when she was doing it and said, cheap shot, just cheap shot.
Boo her when she goes after Bloomberg. That's his paid audience.
What I'm saying is, let's say there isn't a paid audience in there, Phil. Let's for a moment say that maybe isn't what happened. I know you don't want to believe it, but let's just say it didn't happen. The fact was she got booed, no matter which way you want to call it. And it was for a remark that I looked over at Marjorie and went, "That's a cheap shot." And so I even got mad at it. So if I were there, I would have booed her.
Didn't Bloomberg say it was a cheap shot?
Huh?
He did.
Yeah, I think he said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Klobuchar.
I mean,
Biden
to begin with, Bloomberg after the last debate went and took 3 women who had those non-disclosure agreements and took their non-disclosure agreements away from them. They could say anything they wanted to. Okay. And then he said he also told his company that we will end the process of doing non-disclosure agreements in this company. And she goes back and starts yelling at him, "Oh, and you didn't do that," and blah, 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 blah. Rather than that, she should have come back and said, "Well, I guess I did something good because you reacted to what I said by taking that away from your company."
Bloomberg said, it wouldn't matter what I did, it wouldn't be good enough.
Yeah.
To her.
Yeah, and he's right. But she should have at that point. I was thinking to myself, all she had to say was, "Well, I guess you took my advice, huh? And I got something done by getting you to drop those non-disclosure agreements," and give herself the win rather than allow him to take the win. Okay.
I don't think.
Hence the Democrats eating their own.
Huh?
Hence the Democrats eating their own.
Yeah.
They just let themselves get swallowed.
Yep. It's too bad too.
Which happens in the primaries.
Yeah.
And then
wait a minute. There's a lot of noise going on somewhere here. Yes.
Yeah, he muted.
Ray.
Was Steyer still up there? I didn't see the debate yet.
Yeah,
he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was there.
And well, I'm still voting for Tulsi Gabbard. I think she's still running, so I'm holding out for Tulsi.
Really, you really
Even if
think you really
Yeah,
think
I-
you're going to get blown out of that, huh?
You never know. It's worth it.
By that, by the way, YouTube, I meant blown in the sense of blowing
Windsurfing.
up, like boom, kind of.
No, windsurfing with her because she windsurfs.
Yes,
So I was
okay.
gonna get blown by the wind. Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
We knew that.
yeah. I mean, I just looked at it for a couple of minutes and I just went, nobody here has a clue. I think Buttigieg does have a bit of a idea of what it takes to win. And he could appeal to middle America. I know you're going to say, oh, well, he's gay and all of that. It's gotten to the point where everybody, because people come out a lot, everybody, even those people in the Midwest, in the Midwest, well, wait a minute, in the Midwest, all have somebody they know who's gay now, or some relative who's gay now. So, it doesn't carry with the same kind of onus it once did. Otherwise, Buttigieg wouldn't even be running.
But the blacks don't like gays, and he needs the black vote to.
There are a lot of black gays. What do you think? Do you think being homosexual is racial?
In San Francisco and in New York, but in South Carolina, he does not have the support of the blacks that Biden does.
Well, because you're being, I think, racist in that assumption.
I'm just being,
you're being
accurate to.
No, you're not being accurate. You're being racist, and you're being told by other racists. I've seen black preachers and so on talking about the Buttigieg factor and saying that no, we are far more forgiving people about things like that than anybody would like to portray us as.
No, that's.
But Alex, can I make a point on this?
Yeah. Yes, Bree.
Well, at the risk of incurring the wrath of everyone.
By the way, you have to turn your head sideways to see his whatever he's shooting there, folks. Okay, go ahead. Yes, Bree.
Sorry about that. I thought I had it correct. My phone is weird. I don't even know if this is worth bringing up, but Buttigieg had a moment recently on the campaign stop where he had a 9-year-old boy who came up onto the stage. I don't know if any of you saw this. And he came out and he asked Buttigieg for his advice. And I don't know how I feel about this, to tell you the truth. I absolutely want everyone to, who was born this way to feel however, and to be able to say that. But when it comes to sexual orientation, I kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm a prude, but I don't think that you really need to expose that until you're 15, 16, 17, you're becoming an adult. At age 9, I just don't think that it's appropriate to be discussing one's sexual orientation. Now, maybe that's
Could I argue that, Bree, by saying that if at 9 years old you know you're gay or you feel you're gay and you feel bad about it, and it's a real problem in your life, even at 9 years old, then you have to articulate it to somebody.
I can't somebody's sexual engagement.
Phil, you're absolutely wrong. By the way, turn your audio off. Whoever's making it, Bree, turn your audio off because we can't hear Phil.
I just don't.
Yeah. Yes, Phil. Yeah. What were you saying?
I was saying that someone at the age of 9 is even prepubescent. I don't think that I agree with Bree that it's not an age-appropriate time to be discussing this kind of sexuality or making a choice for your sexuality when you haven't even been or you're not at the point where you're sexual.
That's your opinion.
Wrong.
That's your opinion based on your own experience. Who says wrong?
Wrong.
Who said?
Hey,
okay, wait a minute. Is that Ray?
Young enough to rape.
But listen to somebody, Phil. Ray?
Wrong.
It's Kevin. It's
what's
Kevin.
His name?
Kevin.
An AMBLA guy,
Kevin, hey, will you stop, Phil? I'm trying to get some other people to say something here. Kevin. Who was saying
I'm
wrong?
trying to get my camera straight.
Who was saying wrong?
I think
Does
Kevin.
this work?
I was.
No. Okay, Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's my
I
video
have
now,
personal
Alex?
experience in that.
Sideways.
Anyway, wait a minute. Come on. I don't want to talk about cameras and where they are. Let Kevin talk,
Kevin.
please. Yes, Kevin. Kevin? What?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, you know, without going into details, I have personal experience in that exact situation, and what Phil is saying is absolutely wrong.
Okay. Can you give us a little bit of your experience? You don't have to name names or anything.
Let's just say it was a friend,
Mm-hmm.
and a friend of mine in the. Without getting into too much detail, a friend of mine did the same thing. Came out, and I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, but what we were talking about young kids. At what age do
Yes.
they realize their sexuality?
Middle school.
Middle school?
Middle school.
Yeah.
And it was difficult, but you have to learn to accept something that someone tells you they feel that way.
I mean, kids who are transsexual.
Should they be having sex at age 9?
No, that's not what we're. That's not what.
that
That's not
doesn't
what the
matter.
question. Do you know that the kids? Wait a minute. Kids who are kids who are transsexual know it from like 3 years old, 4 years old.
It doesn't. You don't necessarily.
No, Phil, you can't go no because science is against you going no.
Kids at 3 years old dress up in dresses if they're men or
Phil,
boys. They
yes,
don't know.
but then by the time they turn 4, they're wearing cowboy outfits. They're not still wearing the dresses, okay?
At 3, they don't know.
God, I gotta take this thing off my. There's no way to get it off. I've got it on here for the rest of my life.
Tell us about his gay experience.
The doctor's gonna call you and say, "Come on in."
Come on in.
Alex, tell the story. Alex, tell the story.
You're still.
Wait a minute. Jeff, are you? Turn on your mic.
But say if it would have saved his life, the kid, you know, maybe he wanted to talk to somebody. You never know.
Yes, Jeff. We can't hear you.
I don't understand.
Oh, here we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I don't understand how any of us can say what a 3-year-old is doing, not doing. And
I don't even remember what I was doing at 3.
When did you become an expert on 3 years?
Yeah, exactly.
Phil.
Hey, I got.
And you remember, I didn't say 3-year-old. Phil did.
One is 29 now, and the other is 26. But I remember when they were born, and they grew up with me in their household until they were 8 and 11. So I can tell you that I have personal experience, and I don't think kids know what's
You're
going
wrong,
on
Phil.
at
You're
3.
wrong, Phil. Science has proved you wrong. Yes, Ray. Ray wants to talk. Ray wants to talk. Ray.
Okay, all right. When my son was in middle school, I used to think that, same as Phil and Bree, but there were all kinds of middle schoolers coming out, and it was good for them because otherwise they would have to hide it for years like everyone else has who's our age. And if they want to change their mind later, that's fine. But these kids were gay, and my son would tell me everybody knew who was gay. They came out, and they were much healthier for it. Okay? That's all I'm going to say.
In that school.
What?
What
bullshit thing did you say?
I said, what did they put in the water?
Yeah, I knew it was something stupid like that.
Oh, come on. That's not nice.
It's not nice, Phil.
The thing is that so there's something we can talk about, and we can agree, and we can say it's fine. But what does the voter think? And when they go into the voting booth, I mean, that's a consideration.
Well,
don't you want the best candidate to defeat Trump?
Yes, and I think that
I want the most mature candidate.
What's that got to do with it?
They said Obama could never win because he was black and he won. Come on.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
He was able to get the vote out. He was able to get people to vote that never voted before. I don't think that these guys are exciting enough
That's a good point.
to get vote out.
Now there you have a good point. You know,
he's right about that. I give him that. Yeah.
You know,
the 3-year-old.
I mean, there's no killer app like Obama. Obama was the killer app for the Democrats. He was the perfect stealth candidate.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
He had charm, he had intelligence, he had all the things going for him, and none of the things going against him. Even his black was kind of part white, so it made whites feel more comfortable with him than they would have somebody who, somebody.
My mother called him. My mother used to call him when he spoke.
What?
She used to say, when Obama spoke, my mother used to say he's very classy, like Sidney Poitier. He had like a captivating thing on him. She's always going to report everything. Guess who's coming to dinner? But I mean,
he
was captivating.
He made you forget he was black.
Yeah,
and he just made you think of him as another human being. That's it.
He did have a good style, though. He made you feel at ease, though.
Oh yeah, he was.
Forget Jewish.
He was a charm.
Imagine if you said I'm black and Jewish. They would have all ran for cover.
Okay, how much did I pay for lunch today?
Okay, I'm saying, huh? What are you saying?
$3. 12. Whatever.
Well, what did you have, Bree?
Taco.
What'd you have?
I'm having a chicken shawarma sandwich with French fries, and I'm having a pulled milk tea to drink.
Pulled milk tea. I'm going to go close to Phil. I'm going to say $3.50.
You are exactly correct. $3.50.
See? So don't tell me.
He would have 5 if I didn't say 3.
See, the socialist won.
Yeah.
You know, as for Bernie Sanders and the whole socialist thing, I think that's a killer for him, only because guys like Trump have tainted the word socialism. And I don't even like him because he says, I'm a democratic socialist. It's like, that's like saying I'm a Christian Jew. Okay, come on.
You remember when Reagan was
Florida?
The word
category right now
was dirty word. When Reagan was running, he made
liberal a dirty word. Yeah,
dirty word. Yeah. Well, socialism will live up to that.
Well, I mean, socialism is, if you're a socialist, you're a socialist. If you're not a socialist, then say I'm not a socialist. I'm something else. I'm not a democratic socialist. I'm a socialist. That's it, plain and simple.
Fox, you're a communistic socialist.
But I'm not a communist because I don't like communism. I think communism is a bad ideology at the least. Okay, I think it is an unworkable ideology.
So you don't like government ownership of everything?
No, I don't like government. No, I don't.
You see, the problem I have with
that isn't socialism. That isn't socialism, Phil.
The problem I have with socialism is it kills the work ethic. People say, "Well, I'm going to get paid the same as Billy Bob."
No. Phil, it has nothing to do with what you get paid. You don't understand the first. Phil. Come back and when you finally figure out what socialism really is. Come back and tell me, okay? Because you don't have an iota of what it is.
Everybody gets the same. They all get
no.
Not necessarily. We had corporate socialism when we bailed out Wall Street.
Phil, the British are a socialistic system. There are rich people in England.
They're not a socialistic system.
They are they're a highly socialistic system. France is a highly socialistic country. How about the Netherlands? You want to talk about socialism?
They have social.
Oh no! Now you're making it up. Now you're making it up, Phil. The fact is, they are socialist countries. They are socialist countries,
and they are a highly welfare state, but they're all capitalists.
Boy, you don't understand the first thing about. Wait a minute. Okay, Phil, please stop, because you're interrupting everybody else joining in here. Ray, what do you think about what he's saying? Do you think he understands what socialism is?
No, he doesn't, or he does, and he's feigning that he doesn't.
No, I know exactly what it is.
No,
And
you don't. Not from what you just said. You've never been to France. Okay, I'm done talking.
But they are a welfare state. They give a lot of welfare programs, and they tax very highly.
But that's not socialistic. That's not socialistic.
Yeah, and everybody eats cheese too.
Those are not socialistic.
Oh, what is it then?
Capitalistic.
Oh, it's capitalistic, but it's a welfare state.
With welfare.
When we,
you're making, you're making a whole set of rules.
Out Wall Street.
I can't wait to get my Bernie cheese.
We have bailed out Wall Street.
Should we have bailed out Wall Street?
Why can't you be Phil? Why can't you be as funny as Kevin?
Because I don't have the beard.
I mean, he just said something very funny, but you didn't hear it because you were too busy talking.
Talking to Brie.
Yeah. Well, yes.
I'm back.
Yes. I don't know that Bernie's exactly a socialist, to be honest with you. I mean, huh?
He's a communist.
He doesn't say that
he's not a communist, Phil.
I don't.
Jeez almighty. He's not a communist.
He likes waiting on lines is good, he said. You know?
You know what he is?
On tape.
What?
Remember in the Mel Brooks movie when the guy's out of work and he goes and she's, what do you do for a living? He goes, oh, I'm a philosopher on this. She goes, oh, he's a bullshitter. Remember? Here's your check.
Careful, he won't get monetized.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. I don't know what to make of Bernie Sanders. He seems like like you said, he keeps talking, but there's nothing else there.
He's also he's too angry. I don't know why young people like him. I can't. This one, maybe it reminds them of their uncle or something.
They want free stuff. He's promising.
Oh, gee, Phil, you don't have to pipe in on everything we say.
It happened back with Rand Paul's. Is it Rand Paul? Or I get them mixed up. Yeah, they think it's
Ron,
to be.
Oh no, you're thinking of RuPaul. Is who you're thinking of.
It's Senator's.
That'd be funny if Bernie came out in a dress.
That's it.
He's got my vote.
Rand Paul.
You're thinking of Paul Lynn.
Yeah, and he was probably gay. But Bernie only has one jacket, one tie, and one shirt.
No, they've been dressing him up lately. I was looking at him tonight, and I said, that's a pretty snappy suit he's got. Either that, or I'm getting so old that kind of suit looks snappy to me.
Yeah.
My mother likes. He wants him to
Bernie
win.
had another.
Because he likes the medic.
Very popular.
She's hoping he wins.
What did you say, Ray?
Bernie.
Or
Ray.
Bree? Was it Ray? Ray, were you talking?
No, I said RuPaul.
Yes,
no.
RuPaul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bernie used to do this segment called Brunch with Bernie on a progressive talk show host radio show for many years. So people got to know him over the years. I mean,
he used to do that. He used to do that. He used to do it with Tom Hartman.
Really?
Yes.
I wonder if he treats.
That's right, Brunch with Bernie, and I mean, so you had a full hour just to talk to him for years. I mean, it was kind of like Jim Hightower,
Well, it's not that you got to talk to him, but that he was a guest on this show every week. Tom Hartman, another guy I can't stand.
So I think he really honed his skills. Bernie,
honed what skills? I didn't see them in play tonight. All I saw was, God, the uncle you have at a party who just starts ranting, kind of like Phil.
Bernie must be supporting Sears.
You know how much you're starting to. How much you're starting to sound like Bernie Sanders, Phil, with all your ranting.
That's true. Maybe you got a little Bernie.
Put a little hair around there. You might look like him too.
I'll tell you, we turned off the debate, and I turned on an opening to Saturday Night Live so we could watch all those people play those people instead. And I can't look at Elizabeth Warren without seeing what's her name, McKinney. And I can't look at Bernie without seeing Larry David. I mean, Larry David's take on Bernie Sanders is so perfect. It's just spot on.
Bernie better than Bernie.
Huh? He does Bernie better than Bernie. Yeah.
Right.
Now,
And he's funnier too. He can make you laugh at least.
What?
Are they from Brooklyn? Yeah, they're from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Trump comes from Queens. So, yeah, I guess, the Brooklyn thing
Brooklyn's better.
That's the way they
Maybe
told
that has something to do with why people like him.
Others from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Nah,
Great,
Brooklyn, like
what
people.
about he said in Brooklyn, buddy?
Yeah. Gee, now that these days when you're talking, Phil, you actually do get muted by other people.
It's because
Okay, let's keep talking. Talk.
I haven't set up the mixed minus yet. As soon as I put that other thing into...
What'd you say, Phil?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
We can't hear you, Phil. We can't hear you. Just
Phil.
when
What'd you say, Phil?
you just put on your mix minus. We can't hear you anymore.
Phil.
You heard that?
Kate's gonna do it
It's
till
the old mix minus cover up.
You're home later. That's okay. See you
Oh,
in 2 days.
mix minus.
Hey, yo, Phil.
Coming around the bend.
Okay, I have a piece of advice for everyone.
Come in, Phil.
Wait a minute.
Come in,
Bree,
Phil.
Bree
Can't
has
hear you, Phil.
Bree has a piece of advice. Yes, Bree.
Only buy shawarma when you're in the Middle East.
Only buy what? Shawarma?
Shawarma.
It's is that Indian? Shawarma?
No, it's Arab.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've just learned that, like, when you go to Dubai, it's so awesome. Same with the hummus. When you go outside, it's just not the same. So
Really?
That's my lesson today.
Oh, just one quick thing. Jeff, are you still down in Miami?
Yes, I am.
Wow. How long are you going to be down there? Or did they permanently ban you as a Jew to Miami?
Till snow melts in Connecticut.
It's wonderful down here. I got to go out tonight for Argentinian steak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Having a good time.
Yeah.
What's Venezuelan steak?
We decided to take
Socialist steak.
a month.
A month. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Communist steak.
Communist steak.
I share with
Yeah.
Everybody had the same one, right?
Well, there's our theme song.
Can't hear it.
Yeah, we can't hear it because everybody's got their noise, got so much noise going on in the background. Anyway, that's it for tonight, folks. It's been good having you all here. I didn't expect to be here tonight, but here I am, like a bad penny. Wait a minute, I can't even hear you, Phil. What?
If I get this hooked up, nobody will talk over me.
Oh, I see. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Tony, thank you. Thank you, Bree, for being here from the very beginning. Thank you to Jeff for being here. We love having him here. Phil, and of course, Ray, who is out in the gym getting good and healthy. Keep it up. Because after this operation, I won't be able to. Anyway, listen, why don't you all give a big wave goodbye, and I'll wave back at you, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here tonight. As I say, I wasn't expecting to be here tonight, but here I am. Like a bad penny. Anyway, Jack Bishop is next over most of this same GabNet. He'll be here with the intersection. You can call him, and he will have citizens panels going like crazy. So give him a call and make him feel like you love him, okay? I'll be back again probably tomorrow night, I imagine. This is on a day-to-day basis because I don't know when they're going to get me back in the operating room. But I just want to have my radioactive seeds and water them and give them lots of sunlight. Anyway, we'll be back again, hopefully tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye, everybody. Oh, well, that doesn't work. Okay, will that work? No, that won't work. None of these things will work. Okay, there we go. Aha. Well, that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted something else. But well, anyway. Good night, everybody.